Hello everyone! Today I want to showcase a video on how to disassemble one of these little Fisher-Price fans for cleaning and oiling and whatnot. This one doesn't really need any work, but I'll still demonstrate it just for the sake of it, because why not, you know? These fans are fairly common and they're very difficult to open up because they're designed that way, which is really irritating. Obviously stuff you would need, well, if you're doing oil, something like some Singer oil, which is what I use here. If you don't have access to that, you've always got Zoom Spout. This bottle I've had for years now, probably shouldn't have it for that long. Or that 3-in-1 oil in the blue can, or you know, some sort of non-detergent oil like that. And for cleaning it, well, I use these wipes. Just your standard wet wipes or baby wipes will work just fine as well. And for some external components, you can even just wash them in a sink of hot soapy water, because that's honestly very, very effective. Before I actually showcase, get into the motor, I also want to showcase how you open up the base on one of these. So if we sit down here, if you want to open up the base, we can see 4 little rubber feet, and you just pry them out like that. You just pry out all 4 of them, and it's tough to see, but there's 4 Phillips head screws inside here. You undo those and this base will just come off. You don't need to do this to clean or oil the fan. I'm only showcasing this just in case the switch has a problem, a switch if there's a problem with the switch or the wiring, or you need to do something with the wiring. That's how you open up the base, and then you just put them back in like that. Once you've done it all up, just a quick little showcase. I'm trying to make sure everything's in frame as well, because I've got a habit of accidentally doing stuff out of frame, like a bit of a moron. Now with disassembly, typically there's a screw on either side, right there. And if we turn it around, there's one right there. And also, it's tough to see because one right back there. Okay, we have to undo. These aren't here, obviously, because I've taken them out, but that's where they're kept, just so you're aware. Luckily, with a fan like this, the plastic and the ring and whatnot is actually very tough, so you can put a lot of prying force onto it without it breaking. These are surprisingly tough fans. Surprisingly sturdy. But yes, you'll have to undo those screws first. Just keep that in mind. This one, you don't need to re-put them back in for reassembly, because the clips are strong enough on their own to hold it on, because the diameter of the clip is slightly smaller than the grill. But simply, you can see there's a clip there, clip there, clip there, clip there, and a clip there. I pry off the ring. I pry off from the back because I find it easier. I'll showcase reassembly because that's honestly probably the hardest thing to do with these. You just simply stick your screwdriver next to the clip like that, right next to it, and pry it outwards like that. And it will should. This one's been pried a lot, so it'll come off easier, but you do that. It will require a lot more force because I've already taken the grill off this thing way too many times. You just work your way around. Like that. Usually once you got 2 off, you can just push it and the grill comes off. There's your grill. Right there. This one's already clean, but I still want to showcase this to someone who has one that's filthy, because these get dirty all the time. Little fun fact, if you actually want to properly use one of these fans, so you can see it's not that stiff at all. If you want to properly use one of these, they're not. You use it without the front grille. It generally moves a lot of air without its front grille. These blades are a right nuisance to take off. They're basically pushed on, so you have to pull them off. Luckily, this one's coming off quite easy, like that. Usually they don't come off that easy. Usually they take a lot of force to pry. Right, I'll put it back on, see if I can demonstrate it. They're tougher than I remember, but like one thing you can do, if I can find it, you could take 2 screwdrivers in like that and like pry the blades off like that. Like the plastic on it is tough and it will not break. The reason I say pry from both sides is to put equal pressure to make sure it's fair. Or another thing you can also do, if you can, this tactic is really good, especially grip the shaft from back here with a small pair of pliers and twist the blades while the shaft is gripped. So the shaft stays in place, but you can twist the blades and you can twist them off. Very helpful. If always necessary, WD-40. Put some WD-40 right around the connection point and see if that helps, because WD-40 generally is useful for removing the stuck parts. Just something I thought I'd bring up. And typically with stuff like that, you can take the grill and blades and you can clean them in some hot soapy water, because it's more effective than wipes. Now, if you actually want to access this motor itself, there are 2 Phillips head screws in here. You just unscrew them. Keep in mind these also hold the motor in place, so the motor will fall out as well. So just keep that in mind. One thing I like to do is I have a little screwdriver box. You can see it's had a lot of use, where I basically keep all the screws in. It basically helps keep them in place. You know, I also like to put them in the way you go like labelled in here. So this screw, that one in there, I'll put on the left side, and then next to it I'll put this one on the right side, as to basically showcase which way I've put them in. I think it's very helpful, but yeah, it's generally probably one of the most effective ways that you can keep a screw in. Or if you don't have like a screwdriver set like that, just a container lid. It's more than enough. As you can see, it's moving now. Okay, that screw's not fully come out. There we go. Screw comes out, and then this will come off, and here we have our Duracraft C-frame motor. Fairly simple enough. On the look, okay, I've actually never taken apart this motor before. Yeah, that's how it goes in. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, luckily these fans feature a C-frame motor, which in my opinion is the easiest type of motor to disassemble. These motors are really easy to disassemble. Takes to disassemble to oil, keep in mind, you just take out these 2, that comes off, this rotor comes out and whatnot, because the windings are right here, so the windings don't get in the way, which is very convenient, if I'm being honest. But they're not the most efficient motor. It's the reason why, especially in a lot of newer fans, C-frame motors aren't commonly used as much. They're still used in small fans, but I know with turbo fans they've replaced C-frame motors with PSC motors? Something like that. I'm not the most electrical expert type guy. Next up, we just got to take out the motor. Little pause so I can grab some paper towel, whatnot, for cleaning out the bearings, basically. It's useful. But simply, just 2 screws here. What you want to do? You want to notice that during undoing it, this sometimes might get a bit stiffer. It's just because neither screws are aligned properly, so that's just why. Oh. There we go, now comes one. See, learning while doing this, yeah, be careful. Be careful of those nuts. Always just trying to make sure it lines up properly onto there. But yeah, be careful of those nuts at the back there. Those nuts at the back that hold it in. Don't want to lose them. surprised how easy this is actually coming out. Out comes our second screw. Out comes our rotor. With this. Ooh, that back bearing is pretty stuck. Yeah, you can do what I'm doing and just pry, but be very gentle with prying. Like, very gentle. You don't want to cause damage with these fans. So be very gentle while prying out of that. Okay, that nut doesn't want to come out, but that's fine. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It doesn't matter if they don't worry massively. Now we've got the rotor here. Oh yeah, you can see there's a bit of a problem there. That's not coming out properly. Okay, so it looks like it doesn't want to come out. I don't want to force it too hard to come out, so we're just going to leave it like that. And I'll demonstrate it all. You can see in there. Maybe I can get that in frame. The oil wicks right there. Right there, that's where the oil wicks are. Go around this bearing. It's actually sealed off inside there, so I could probably dump a bit of oil in there. And then seal and put some oil around there. Yeah, usually I like to clean it out, especially that front bearing, but it doesn't want to come off, so I'm not going to force it, because that could cause potential damage. I don't want to force it. Just wrap up this, like this. Wrap it up so it's nice and tiny, and just thread it. Oh, yeah. Should probably wrap it up properly tiny, you know, instead of being a bit of a moron with it. And you just clean it out like that. You do the same with the front, but at least with the front you can actually thread it through. You just do that to like clean it out or whatnot. Unfortunately, that one there just doesn't want to budge. I don't want to cause any potential damage, so I'm just going to just leave it. It's unfortunate, but hey, sometimes I can't do much about it. But yeah, that just pulled up a little bit. You still got to be careful with the C-frame motor. Don't want to pull too hard on the wiring. So what I'm thinking I'm actually going to do, I might see if I can put some oil on the rotor. Don't want to lose that. Sorry. Don't want to lose that cap. Yeah, lose that cap all the time. So yeah, I'm just going to put some, don't know if you can see. Just going to put some on the rotor shaft itself and then slide it back and forth to try and work that oil in to the in-between. And look at that. That's spinning nicely. Bit unbalanced though. But yeah, that works nicely. And then we can oil these little wicks. Oh, did a bit much there. Work in that oil. I missed a couple spots there. Usually I would take off the rotor, but it really doesn't want to budge and I don't want to try and force it too hard. It could cause potential damage, you know? And that's not something I want to cause. I think a good suggestion I've seen is that you could like spray some WD-40 onto like a paper towel or something and just wipe all this down to try and remove some of it. Or in more extreme cases, you sand it down with some sandpaper to make it easier to slide out. Yeah, also allows you to get back here and clean. Now here we have the back bearing. And we're just going to do the same thing. Let's just soak it all up. Nice. And then actually put some oil inside. But because this one is sealed off at the back there, you can put some oil inside there. I think I put a bit much, so let me see if I can just wipe some of it away. I don't want to put too much in, that might cause problems. So there we go. Yeah, see, luckily on this one, it says Duracraft at the back there, so I'm able to tell what... It says Duracraft at the back there, so I'm able to tell which way to do it. But usually they might have like two screw holes at the top, which for holding the oscillator on. It's very common on like 9-inch fans. But yes. Wipe up any just wipe up a little bit of residue. And then we stick this back in like that. Oh, that's upside down. So you can see it's very stiff now. You need to put the screws back in. Screw number 1 back in. Carefully put that nut in. You put this screw number 2 in and you screw it all. Oh yeah, look at that, that is stiff. Yeah, see, that's a lot better now. While I was doing it, I was tapping on the shaft, and like, I should probably actually tap on the back bearing as well. What I'm essentially doing is I'm like tapping to align the bearings. It's what you do to align the bearings. As you can see, it's gone from like a very stiff fan to pretty freely moving. I'll to tilt it up. See, it's not perfectly turning. Sometimes it might just need like a little bit of loosening or tightening, you know? Sometimes one of the two may just need a little bit of loosening or tightening. Next up, you also got to align it. I'd recommend once you tilt it up and then try to align it down those 2 holes, and hopefully you should be able to see into those 2 holes and see the little screw. So you would screw it on, and you put this on. You align it all up correctly, and you just thread your screws in. They sometimes might be a bit persistent in going in. They sometimes are. If you want to start with motor disassembly, I recommend with C-frame motors first, because they're the easiest to deal with. I've already got it like screwed in, so somewhat, not like massively tightened, but it's still like somewhat screwed in. Because it still moves about. It's quite hot. Might just be because I've got the sun in my eyes. But it creates really good lighting, so. we go. Sometimes you might want to plug it in and test it, make sure the motor's alright. See, it's fine. It's a bit stiff. It does this very often, which is incredibly frustrating. I'll probably further diagnose it off camera, but I'll showcase the reassembly phase in this video. Next thing, you just gotta push it on. This is very challenging sometimes, as you see then. It's not perfect, but like if you were to run it in this state, the amount of air the thing moves is very high. This is assuming you've cleaned it all out. This one's still not running the best. I think I probably didn't align it up properly. It could be annoying to do that sometimes. So I have to deal with that off camera. But I just want to show the reassembly phase. Next up, you just gotta you gotta align the bottom to the back. Don't know if you can see right there, but you have to align those bottom up. Once you can then clip the top clip in once you got it aligned like that. Put that top clip in, you just force some of these more clips in. We've got the top 3 in, now just these bottom 2. The last couple of clips are always the toughest to get in. As you can see, the force needed is absurd. Oh, well, there we go. I think we got it. Take a look. Yep, that's all these clips in. The upper fan fully reassembled like that, because the clips are more than enough to keep it on just fine. Then we can plug it in and use it. It's not exactly the worst air mover with the grill on, it's just a lot better without the grill. I've experienced worse, but the grill does restrict way too much air. Yeah, as you can see, the motor's still not happy, so I need to dig into that. But yeah, that is how you disassemble and reassemble a Fisher-Price 7-inch desk fan. Let me get up. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and see ya!